we are starting system design. This particular series, I majorly focusing on data system design. But before understanding or including data systems into our particular design, we have to first understand how the actual system works. Because data or models or any type of AI, if you are integrating with your software or product, it is just 10 or 20% of it, or just enhancing the performance. If you see any system, you realize that all over the system is just built on previous tech tools and technologies and frameworks and different servers, and every system, whole system is running on something. And there's a different design for it, and there's a different design for models and data elements. Okay, so before moving on to data system designs, let's first understand what is system design and how to master this subject. It is a very important subject. Why? Because when we work on any system, or we are working in a team, or if you are working in an MNC, you should understand how a big system is working, how thousands of people are working on a single software, how the whole architecture is, what is the whole architecture is. To understand all this, this is comes under system design. We are going to plan the whole software first, and then we move forward with development. Okay, so in this particular roadmap, we are not covering the roadmap, we are covering the basic why we are working on system design and what is system design. I will include the roadmap in future session, but in this series, the fundamental or this particular video, we are just understanding what is system design. Okay, so in this Notion template, I will mention this template in the description. You can get and make a duplicate of it on your own workspace, and you can make notes if you want. So, what is system design? So, system design is just the combination or the architecture of a whole system. It can include different modules, different components who are working individually, which are working individually and responding to something. There are different small services available and collaborating and completing a whole software. So before working or building any type of services, any type of big software, we are going to architect it. We have to create a plan how we are going to work on this, how this system is going to work overall, how our software is going to work, how it is going to scale, what are the security measures we have to consider before working on this. Okay, so the whole system we have to design first, or the system here, the word system is any type of software, any type of thing you generally see in the world. For example, your house. Okay, we have to pre-plan everything before started building the house, correct? In the same way, for example, let's suppose we are babies and we are just small childrens, for example, and our parents come up with a simple logic or simple puzzle toy uh, uh, with them. Okay, so with that puzzle, what we have to do, we have to think about it, how we are solving the puzzle, how this particular piece is going to use it at what position, so that the whole picture or the whole scenery that we are working on is going to solve. Okay, so we have to um, use those puzzle pieces and arrange in an order so that the big solution come up. Okay, same way, if you are working on a software, we have to consider many things: how the client is going to see it, how the backend is going to work, how the database is going to work, and the whole system. We have to take a pen and paper and write it. This is my server, this is my client side, this is my server side, this is my database, this type of users we are going to bring on our platform, and so on. So we have to plan everything, and when we have to converge that into a proper solution. Okay, if we understand the whole system, we are going to easily scale it up for huge huge amount of people who are going to use our software. Okay, so there are different functionalities and behaviors, there are different interfaces included in a whole system. Okay, so this is what a system design is. We are going to design a proper system with proper planning, considering different important um, points like security, scalability, how we are going to manage it, what type of different tools we are going to use, what type of servers we are going to use to run that particular software. Okay, so the whole thing is system design. Okay, why it is important? Because if you are working on if you have planned everything from scratch or planned everything prior before building the software, it is very easy to build it. If it will be easy for us to explain our developers that this is what we are going to work on, this is our feature, this is a small part of the whole system, this is the button, this is how it going to look like, this is how we create the APIs, this is how we create the interfaces, this is how our components going to work, this is how our components are going to give us the output or return something. So we are going to plan it out prior so that we can build an efficient software. So here we are just focusing on building softwares and yeah, building software. You can apply these techniques in other things as well, but terminologies will change, but ultimately everything is same. So we are going to plan it before working on something, even if it's a hardware. Okay, so some of the examples I consider that these are important. For example, if we are working on web applications, or have you seen any web application that you are currently like using YouTube? So YouTube is just a web application. Okay, so how they are going to architect the whole thing, that this is how my backend data of a video will come to the client side and user is going to view it, how it is going to buffer. Okay, it will buffer left to right. Okay, so there's a whole architecture, interface, functionalities involved in this. So we are going to plan it beforehand. If you are using any application, for example online shopping or social media or video conferencing, so everything will include planning. So we have to design the system in a way that it will work properly. It can be scalable, it can be maintainable, and so on. Okay, so any web application you're working on, there's a client side, there's a server side, there's a database include in this, in the whole system, and how that particular server will work, how is the development operations are going to work. So whole system is designed individually because there are different parts to it. Okay, so if you are focusing on the second example, there's operating system. So how operating system is working, so it is controlling the hardware, the RAM, ROM. Okay, so everything you see on the screen is running on RAM. Okay, so operating system is going to give you memory on a RAM, and your application will run on it. Okay, so you can apply different it uses different memory management, how much memory it should give to a particular program. For example, if you have a 8 GB RAM and you are running Call of Duty, so how much memory Call of Duty will take to execute, and how much memory it should store it itself, because we have to run a whole hardware. Okay, so everything is divided and there's a memory management in it. So it is pre-planned. We have to design a system in a way that this is how we are going to work on the operating system, and this is how our operating system is going to work. Okay, so we do this pre-plan this one. Okay, same as if you're working on database systems. So as military base, you will find all the components of military, obviously. So there's database. So database is just the collection of different data. Okay, so database is where you find all data in single place. Okay, so we have to manage that data, and there is a predefined schema to it. For example, if we are working on any application, for example, Facebook, so we have to store our name, first name, last name, username, password, profile picture, everything into a database. So we pre-planned this one, like this is our user is going to come, and this type of information the user is going to give us, and we have to store it in a way that there should not be an error. So we have to create a schema for particular database. So schema is just a structure. For example, a bookshelf is a structure, and the books stored on it is data. You can consider this as data structure. Okay, so this is what we do when we design a database. We create a schema depending upon what type of requirements we have, what type of users we are going to use, what type of users are going to come on our platform, etc. Okay, next part is, if we focus or consider this example as network system. So network system are generally how this network is connected to you. For example, I am working in a LAN, local area network. So how it is going to connect with the person sitting in another country. Okay, so there is a proper design for it. There is a system for it. This is how we're going to deliver the packets on the network. So packet is just the part of a data. Okay, so if I'm sending any information, so it will travel to that network and deliver to that particular person. So there's a whole design to it. So network system design is also considered you can consider this an example of system design. Okay, so we everything planned prior and then work on the system. So our planning should be perfect. There will be mistakes, but we focus on creating a proper design for any system. So we will going to work on different data systems, like how Twitter is working, how Uber is how the actual system is designed. So to understand or to work or to create any design, we have to understand different components of it. What type of servers we are going to use, what type of load balancing we are going to use, and different type of components. Okay, so in collaboration of these components, we are going to complete our design. Okay, and then move forward with working on it. Okay, so this is what system design is. We will move forward and work on different topics. We have to understand the basic or the understand the fundamentals that already been, or small systems already been created. For example, IP, Internet Protocol, how this IP works. So what happened when you hit a URL? There's a whole lot number of processes happening. Okay, so there's a whole process to it. So let's move forward and start with our topics. So I will cover Internet Protocol in the next topic. So this is how we are going to work on the whole roadmap. I will create the roadmap as soon as possible, and we will move forward like that. If you need any topic to cover, you just mention in the comment section. I will include that topic. Okay, no issue. So that's it. Let's meet in the next session.